And good morning to you, and welcome to the show. The Back Nine Boys Golf Show is brought to you by Bridgestone Golf. Play the ball that is fit for you. By Sea Palms Resort, featuring the Miracle, a members-only facility to improve your game. And by Mizuno Golf, reach beyond. On the show, we're going to talk with John Farrell, Director of Sports at Sea Pines Resort, about all that Sea Pines offers and the wonderful win by Stewart Cink, winning the RBC Heritage a couple weeks ago at age 47. Then we'll talk with Amy McDonald, who is up very early from her home in California, President and CEO of Altwell, and we'll talk to her about the CBD products that they offer and some of the education that we all need to have about that. And then finally, we'll talk with Georgia Southern's Golf Coach of the Year for his conference, Carter Collins, about their spectacular season, winning the Sun Belt Conference, and are now heading to the NCAA Regionals. But first up is our friend from Hilton Head, John Farrell, Director of Sports. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Rich.
How are you this morning?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sure, it's wonderful always to have you. First off, congratulations on your promotion to Director of Sports.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm flattered. I'm excited. I'm flattered. It's a healthy nervousness. It's been great.
So I've not heard of a Director of Sports before. So does that mean you're now over all the sports at Sea Pines? Because you were over all the golf.
Yeah, I've got some tennis responsibilities at tennis and golf maintenance and some of the other coordination of the events throughout the resort. And it's just it's an absolute treat. You know, we've got 3 very busy golf courses. We've got 20 courts and a big tennis academy with the Smith Stearns Academy led by Stan Smith. And there's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, and with golf and tennis and outdoor recreational things being so popular right now in the COVID condition, it's a really exciting time for us.
Well, I know a lot of people know when you say Hilton Head, first thing they think about is Harbor Town, but there's other courses that are affiliated with Sea Pines. Tell us about that.
It's breaking up a little bit here, but we have 54 holes. We have obviously the Harbor Town Golf Links, which has played host to the RBC Heritage. Yeah.
Okay, looks like we're kind of breaking up a little bit. Yep, we're here. We're going to give you a buzz because looks like the internet connection may be down, so we'll give you a call quick, and I'll talk about all the other amenities that are going on at Sea Pines Resort, which includes Harbor Town. It includes the Stan Smith's, all the stuff that he does with tennis. By the way, Stan is also a very good golfer. I mean, it's a wonderful place. They've got, as he said, 54 holes of golf. We'll talk about the other courses that they've got here in just a couple of minutes. But John has been there. He's been there through all the RBC Heritage tournaments, most of them anyway. And it was quite exciting. We'll talk to John about what it was like to kind of watch Stewart Cink dissect the course and win for the 3rd time at Harbor Town. They've had a lot of winners who have won multiple times. Stewart was one of them who's won 3. And Davis Love was also a multiple winner. He won 5 times. So now we're back on the phone with John Farrell. John, we just a little internet issues, which, you know, we all have. So 54 holes at Sea Pines. Tell us about the other courses besides Harbor Town.
I guess the best way to describe it, Rich, is for years and years and years, almost 30, I would get phone calls from industry people that would say, "Hey, can you get me on Harbor Town?" And that was the number one question I'd receive. And that has changed over the last number of years to, "Can you get me on any of the golf courses in Sea Pines?" Because the other 2 have been upgraded and updated and completely redesigned thanks to our incredible ownership. Now we have the Atlantic Dunes by Davis Love, which was ranked the number 1 new golf course in the country. And then we've got the Heron Point golf course designed by Pete Dye. We've got 3 wonderful opportunities and they complement one another. They're different and from shot perspectives and from shot values and from overall experience levels. They're very different and very complementary of one another. So we've got a pretty comprehensive golf experience now in Sea Pines.
So Harbor Town obviously being, the one everybody wants to play, but how do people feel about playing all the other ones? I mean, I know Davis and Mark came up and redid Atlantic Dunes. How does that play compared to Harbortown?
So it's got the same demand now because it's been so popular. Our customers telling us how they feel about it, and based on the number of rounds we're playing at Atlantic Dunes and Heron Point, the customers telling us they absolutely love it. And our membership, our full-time year-round residents in Sea Pines, they too are just pick one. They'll call for tee times, and they're not as specific as they used to be about where they need to play because we have the same maintenance budgets for all three. We have the same commitment to all three. And the gap's been narrowed to the extent that everybody wants to play all three. Thank goodness. It's been wonderful.
Yeah. And all the other amenities that happen up at Sea Pines. I mean, you have lodging available. You've got tennis with Stan Smith. Tell us about those.
So Stan continues to be on court. He's not just here by name alone. We're celebrating, and we're currently doing an ongoing celebration of his 50 consecutive years as our director of tennis.
Wow.
Yeah, which is really wonderful. He still is involved with Adidas Sportswear. It's the #1 selling shoe in the history of Adidas Sportswear. But he's on court, Rich. He's on court with our students, the young men and women who aspire to play either collegiate tennis or professionally. He's on court teaching and coaching, overseeing our programming, and he's just an absolute gentleman. We couldn't have a better ambassador for the Sea Pines Resort than we have with Stan Smith. And then we have, in the same parking lot, we have the 60-room inn and club at Harbortown, which is, once people stay there, they would prefer to stay no place else just because of its proximity to everything nice. So that once you park your car at the inn and club, you can walk anywhere you want to go, to dinners, to sunsets, to golf, to driving ranges, to tennis courts, to bikes, to everything. So yeah. It's a nice little campus.
Yes, it is. And you've been at Sea Pines for many years and have witnessed many different pros win, a lot of pros winning for the first time at RBC Heritage. But this year, about a month ago, y'all had a winner for the third time who kind of dissected the course pretty well.
I mean, he came out with guns blaring, right? I mean, had a nice visit with he and his son after the tournament, and they said the hole looked like a peach basket on Thursday and Friday.
Wow.
Stuart's been a friend to all of us for a long time. His oldest son went to Clemson with one of my children, my daughter Megan, and he's just been a friend to. Stuart's the kind of guy that eats in the caddy room as much as he does the player dining area. He's a real down to earth, real guy. He's a sweet man. We couldn't be happier about him being our three-time champion. We've got a 5-time champion that you're well aware of.
Oh yeah.
And then Hale Irwin has also had some great success here on 3 different occasions. And now we got Stuart Fink, who we couldn't have been happier. That subplot of him out there negotiating the pressures of a final round with his son was just great television and great theater. And we couldn't be happier about having him as our champion. You've
been around Stuart for years. He's won twice before he came this year to win for the third time. But did you see a difference in him as far as his game relaxed state, as far as having his son on the bag?
You know what? Truth be told, he's always been such a nice man.
Okay.
He is a guy who treats the locker room attendant or the caddy or the bag drop guy the same way he does the chairman of the board. He's not a pretentious guy. No, I don't claim to know him better than I do, but I know him well enough to speak and things of that nature. But he is a really down to earth guy, Rich. That's what I think. If you're asking if we saw a difference this year from others, maybe a little bit so, just because of his closeness to his son.
Right.
And his son on the bag, having his wife on the other side of the ropes with his other son and a couple of fiancés. It was a real family affair. It was such a joy to see them celebrating afterwards.
Yeah.
It was as though they'd never won before. They were so excited.
Yeah.
You know how that makes you feel great when it means that much, as much to them as it does to you.
Right. And how great was it for y'all to have the fans back this year?
It completely changes the venue.
Yeah.
I mean, it was last year. We were really happy to be back on the schedule. We were the second week out. Colonial kicked the tour off, and we were the second event in the COVID conditions. And we're happy to be on the schedule, but there's nothing like having the appreciative fans here. And I'm biased, of course, but I think we have the best fans in golf. These people really love the celebration. They understand it. They get what this means.
Right.
To have them back out there this year, it was a real posture changer. Everybody was just thrilled to have it back out. Have them back out.
I know in some of the conversations, John, that I know you've had with many of the pros that come there, even in there's no tournament, they just come and want to play over there, that, it took them a little while to get used to having no fans, no stands, no aiming points. And now they're hopefully getting back to having fans, some stands, but not like it was, but hopefully we're going to get there.
Yeah, I think we're doing it responsibly. I think Jay Monahan, Andy Passer, all the tour officials, I think they're doing it the appropriate way.
Yeah.
Not just opening the floodgates. They're opening it up and they're being cautious. I mean, you saw here, you really had to be careful. And there was a lot of people enforcing the rules very politely, with a very Southern style, real charming. I've never been asked so politely to wear a mask or to social distance than I was here. And then I also went down to TPC Sawgrass, and people could not have been nicer. It was a great credit to Steve Wilmot and the Heritage Foundation and the training they did with their volunteer corps. It was a wonderful collaboration of people that were very considerate of everybody's health and well-being.
John, let me ask you this. In the news over the past few weeks, we've talked about the PGA Tour and this $40 million pot for, the most popular players. And now we're hearing about the Player Impact Program, which is that. And now we're also hearing about the other league, so to speak. Little comments from, Fowler and Mickelson. What are your thoughts as far as Jay Monahan saying, if you do decide to do that, you're done here on the PGA Tour?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard for somebody to play in the MLB or the NFL and then go play in another competing league. I think Jay's got every right to take that position. I think time will shake out, and this will. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but if I was to wager, if I was a gambling man, I'd wager that the PGA Tour, because of its well-run management team, and that this is unlikely. It can't be just about the money.
No.
Where'd the USFL end up? Yeah,
exactly. And some of the other things that have gone on in other sports. But John, we can't thank you enough for being with us. We always enjoy coming to Sea Pines and seeing all that's going on, which there always is something going on. But thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure, Rich. Come see us. We're a place the regular guy can play.
And I'm a regular kind of guy. So thanks, John. Just help me keep it in the fairway when I come up.
I'll do it. Thanks,
Rich.
Okay,
all right. John Farrell, the Director of Sports at Sea Pines Resort. I want to thank him for being with us. Next up is Amy McDonald of Altwell CBD, who will tell us everything that we need to know about CBD products. We'll be right back on the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
Andrew Novak, Corn Ferry Tour, and you're listening to the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
And welcome back. I'm Rich Stiles. Our next guest is Amy McDonald, President, CEO of Altwell CBD Products. Good morning, Amy, all the way in California. Thank you for getting up early for us.
Oh, happy to be here, Rich. Thanks so much for having me.
All right. I went to the PGA show a couple of years ago, and prior to that, there were never any CBD products there. There were like 15, 16 different CBD companies there promoting what they had.
Yes.
In this series of CBD, what you're offering, what others are offering, there's got to be some education involved to the customer about what you should have, what you shouldn't do, what you need to look for. Tell us a little bit about the education process that you have.
Absolutely. Yeah. Education is important. This product is new to the market. The hemp farm bill was passed in 2018, excuse me. So end of 2018. So all of this is new, but it's important to know that we've had this system called the ECS system in our bodies for centuries. Since the beginning of man, we're just learning more and more about it. So it was determined a few years ago that hemp was okay to both ingest as well as to put on your skin as a topical, because our system in our body helps us to be in control of stress, anxiety, sleep, appetite. It's basically our dashboard. And what CBD is something that is like a lock and key mechanism that fits in that dashboard. What's important to know, because there are so many brands out there right now and there's a lot of confusion, is do some homework. Before I entered this site or this market, I had to do a lot of research myself. I'm a scientist by background, microbiology, biochemistry, former Hokie, by the way. So I was back east for a long time. And you have to really check it out. Have the companies that you're going to consider purchasing from provided transparency to testing results. Do they actually claim how much CBD and what the source is? 70% of products on the market have been found to not contain what the label says.
Wow.
70%, right?
Oh my gosh, that's unheard of.
That is huge. And that's because regulations are still to come in this industry.
Right.
So do your homework, check out the website, see if people that you're buying from have been involved in this food, beverage, or sports medicine field before. So Altwell was founded by the team and the family that created Muscle Milk.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with that brand, they later sold it. It's owned by Pepsi now and it remains a great brand. But the team has worked with athletes, both weekend warriors and professionals, for a long time. We understand how important it is to know what it is that you're putting in your body. And we actually do triple testing to make sure that each and every label contains exactly what is in that bottle. So the experience is the same time and time again. And I think that's where there's so much more education to be done, not only about how CBD works for you, but what to look for to make sure that you get a consistent experience time and time again. And we've got so many people tell us, oh, I've tried CBD and it doesn't really work for me.
Right.
Well, it makes me wonder if they were one of the people that tried 70% of those brands that don't contain either enough or have much more than the label claims. So look for triple testing, look for background, look to see if on their website they're talking about transparency and the science. Look for blogs that maybe talk about how to use, when you should start to see the effects, how many milligrams to recommend to take, all of those kind of things, because it's a growing researched field, but there's a lot to be studied still, and do your homework.
Yeah, and doing your homework is key. And I like what you said, that you even did your homework in order to do that, which I like. But a lot of people don't do their homework. They just see CBD. I mean, it's hot. It's one of those things, and they go out and try it. And you said they don't get the results that they thought. So then they either quit or they continue to keep going and buying other products. How do you, I don't know if this is the right way to ask this question, but how do you know if it's working? You should, well, depending on the type and format that you take,
you should feel the effects within at least 3 to 5 tries of that product.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and each type of product takes a different amount of time to get into your system. So let me give you an example. Probably one of the most common formats in CBD is a tincture. Here's an example of one. They're drop. I mean, it's a kind of a weird word, right? What the heck is a tincture? It sounds very
I've
medicinal.
never heard that. I don't even know how to spell it.
Yeah, so these are the drops that you would actually put under your tongue and let them absorb there. You've
Okay.
probably heard in the background before, if you see someone having a heart attack, put some aspirin under their tongue.
Right.
That is the fastest way for something to get into your bloodstream, by putting it in your sublingual passage. So if you take a tincture, you should feel the effects in likely less than 20 minutes.
Okay.
You might feel a general focus and calm. So it kind of, to me, it reduces the noise. If you take a gummy, which is also very popular, that goes through your digestive tract, and that may take 30 minutes or more before you actually begin to feel the effects.
Okay.
So as a golfer, you want to take something before you start. Take a gummy half hour before. You didn't have a great first 9, you want a better back 9, maybe take the tincture as you make your turn. But those are just 2 oral ways to do that. My favorite way to people that are new to CBD to recommend that they start is actually with a topical. And topicals, you put on your trouble area, and you're going to know pretty quickly whether that works for you.
Right.
So whether it's a sports balm, 1,000 milligrams, put it on a sore back, a sore hip, or we've got also a product that is a sports stick. So, you can easily put that in your golf bag and get that anywhere. But for this, most people hear the effects in minutes.
Right.
Some people use it before as a warm up. Other people would use it afterwards. So that's another way. Let me share with you one more story too, Rich, that I have 83-year-old parents who are avid golfers. My dad still plays 3 to 5 times a week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And my mom probably gets out there maybe once or twice, a little more social on her end.
Yeah.
But they were very much skeptics of CBD. My dad was a superintendent of schools, and, he had still the whole CBD mentality that, oh my gosh, this is a, drug. It's not going to get you high or any of those things.
Right.
And I asked them to do a 7-day challenge, and we've got a soft gel capsule that's a full spectrum CBD. I asked them to take it for 7 days, stop taking it, and then tell me how they felt. My parents call me every month now, fearful that they're going to run out of that soft gel, making sure I get it to them, get their order in the system, because what it does for them is it takes away those morning creaks and aches, and I think my dad said it just makes him feel more flexible and more mobile, and it's helping him to just do the things he loves, like golf 5 times a week. So
take it in the morning.
They both happen to take theirs in the morning. I take mine before I go to sleep at night. So whenever works best for you. But we call it the 7-day challenge. Take it 7 days, see how you feel, stop taking it, and see if there's any difference. And it might be a good way to test if CBD works for you.
Yeah. Obviously, that's a great way to say it. Give us the website so folks can go to it and see all the other products that you've got.
Yes, it is altwell.com, ALTWELL.com. And we have for your listeners also a code. If they want to use back 9 boys at checkout, they'll get 20% off their first purchase. And the first 3 that purchase, we're going to also send them these pretty awesome golf caps as well.
Awesome.
You could follow us on social media at Altwell CBD, and we love to give people free samples. So either on the website or at Altwell CBD on Facebook or Instagram, just hit our bio and fill out the information in the link, and we'll send you samples so you can try and let us know how you think. And Rich, just one other product I didn't mention. I know you said you liked it, but we got a protein. That's pretty unique.
I do like that. I've had it every morning for since you sent me the package about a week ago.
Yeah, so it's 20 grams of plant-based protein,
Yes.
20 milligrams of CBD. Tastes great, and I think it's a great part of a morning routine, especially before a round.
I totally agree. I would not do without it. So thank you
Oh,
very
great.
much for that. And thank you for getting up early and being with us, and enjoy your weekend.
Happy to be here. Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks. Amy McDonald of Altwell CBD Products, altwell.com. Go up there, check out all their products. Just could be something you might want to start today and just continue to do it. But as she said, do your homework, and they have done their homework. So check them out at altwell.com. Up next, Sunbelt champion and coach of the year of Georgia Southern, Carter Collins, is going to be with us. We'll be right back on the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
Hi, this is Nick Faldo, and you are listening to Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
And welcome back. I'm Rich Stiles. And we're pleased and honored to have the Coach of the Year, Carter Collins, with us from Georgia Southern. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Doing wonderful. How does it feel to win this award, Coach of the Year?
It's a humbling honor, humbling award, but it's definitely a reflection of the golf team and what they've been able to accomplish. Much less about me and much more about them.
Well, it is an honor to be named Coach of the Year because your team has just performed wonderful and you just became the Sun Belt champions. And what matches did you have? I mean, that was got to be a thrill for you guys.
Yes, sir. The match play portion of our conference championship is a very grueling addition that we added a few years ago. So we play 3 straight days of 18 holes to determine the top 4 teams, and then those 4 teams go into a match play, 36-hole match play, where 4 versus 1 in the morning, and then the winner of that match plays the championship match in the afternoon. So at the end of the week, the guys played a practice round, 3 tournament rounds, and 2 match play rounds, all within a 5-day period. So 6 rounds of golf in 5 days at one of the toughest courses we've ever seen. It was emotionally and physically draining, and the boys handled all that very well. But specifically to your question, the matches were awesome. They got off to a great start in the first match that we had against Coastal Carolina, a really good team. And they kept the hammer down for that match and were able to win that one 4-1. And that advances to the championship match against Little Rock, who's, again, a great team, who had already won a match that morning and played very well in the stroke play, finishing runner-up to us. So we knew they could play. And they got off to another very good start. And we were leading in 4 of the 5 matches for almost the whole day. And, it was a surreal moment when it's all over with because, like I said, 6 rounds in 5 days. You're not real sure when it's going to end, but we were elated that it ended on the good side.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be so proud of this team. I mean, y'all have performed as a team so well this year.
Yes, sir. The thing I'm most proud of with this team is not only fighting through the adversity of, COVID-19 and everything that came with that.
Right.
How consistent they stayed. Their work ethic was consistent all year. I'm just proud of them for hanging in there and never slowing down.
Coach, were these part of the goals that you had was to win the Sun Belt Conference championship, or what was some of your goals when you started out of the year?
So we're probably unique in that area. We shy away from expectations. We feel like it, puts added pressure on you and it takes focus away from what you need to be working on, which is whatever's in front of you. So we talk about goals, but more in the sense of we just want to perform our best at certain events. We don't talk about necessarily winning these tournaments because a lot of that's out of your control. You have other teams that could play their best and maybe they get you that week. So we talk about performing our best at the Shinko Invitational. Our home event here in Statesboro is very important to us. The Sun Belt, regionals, and nationals. Those are our 4 biggest events of the year. So it's definitely something we discuss, and we want to make sure we're performing our best at every event and every time we represent Georgia Southern. But specifically, those 4 are the goals that we set forth at the beginning of the year. So far, the guys have done really well. We finished runner-up at the Shinko, had a great week, and they played some incredible golf at conference, and we have regionals next week, so we got another chance to play our best.
Well, I was noticing that you all are ranked 34th in GolfStat. Again, that might not have been one of your goals, but again, shows how well your team has been performing.
Yes, sir. The ranking is a good way to earn your way into postseason if you don't win conference, because they issue a lot of at-large bids per year, and normally if you're ranked 60th or better, you'll receive an at-large bid if you don't win the automatic qualifier at your conference.
Right.
So the guys have put this program in really good position. We were, I think, 41st or 42nd going into conference. So our bid to regionals was all but locked up. But that's even more reason to be proud of them for not losing sight of what we were there to do, which was not just to get the postseason, but to earn our way in the postseason and win that automatic qualifier and win the conference championship. So the golf stat ranking is a reflection of how consistent they've been all year, but I'm very proud of them for not sleeping on that and thinking, okay, we've got it. We just need to go play decent at conference and then we'll be ready for regionals. They were hungry at conference, and I think that showed.
Well, now you go on to the NCAA regionals, which is going to be played at a golf course that a lot of people think is just a great golf course, Seminole. What's your game plan? What are you going to talk to the guys about?
So, conference championship was hosted at Mystic Creek in El Dorado, Arkansas. It's one of the toughest courses we've ever seen.
Wow.
So we knew that going into the season. So we tried to schedule a few more tough golf courses than we normally do to get the guys prepared for just the mindset you need on a very difficult golf course. Pars are your friend, and learning to play to the fat side of the green, and that kind of strategy we were trying to build a little more consistent with this year. So that will serve us well going into regionals, because Seminole Legacy has a reputation of being a very difficult course. It has some length. It's around 7,500 yards. We played in a tournament in Tallahassee earlier this spring at a different golf course, but we know there's a lot more undulation at Tallahassee than we thought there was going to be. So the game plan is pretty much do what we've been doing, preparing for a tough golf course. We try and play a good bit of golf at some of the tougher courses in our area to get used to it. And I feel like the guys are going to be prepared, but, we're going to use this next week and week to get ready.
All right. Georgia Tech, Georgia Southern, Coastal, and Georgia are all here. A lot of talent in the state of Georgia and around the area. What do you look for, Coach, when you're recruiting?
It's pretty simple. We look for great kids. Our head football coach has a really good quote on what he looks for, and I echo him. He looks for great kids, great students, and guys that love to win. And that's the recruiting philosophy for this program as well. But the good kids come first. We want somebody that wants to represent Georgia Southern the right way, wants to be great teammates. They have to want to be great students and put in the work in the classroom to achieve some good stuff on the academic side. And obviously, after those two boxes are checked, we want to get the best golfers we can. But team chemistry is very important. I want these guys to have fun. They're here for 4 or 5 years, and it'll fly by like it's a few months. It'll fly by in a hurry. So I want them having fun while they're here with their teammates. So those are the 3 pillars of our recruiting philosophy. It's, great young men who want to achieve some great things in the classroom, but also very talented on the golf course. Georgia Southern is such a special place and it has so much to offer. We're very lucky to have signed a good bit of those guys through the years, and they've built something special here. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's around the corner.
Coach, speaking around the corner, what's around the corner as far as next year for y'all? Who do you lose on the team this year, and what is recruiting like for next year?
That's a great question. So we've got a bunch of turnover for next year. Jake Maples and Brett Barron both came back for their what's been called a COVID 5th year. So those are 2 guys that are in our lineup currently that are not going to be returning. Jacob Bayer is graduating, senior from Lawrenceville, Georgia. Avery Price is graduating, senior from Gastonia, North Carolina. So we've got some guys leaving the program, and then on the other side we have 4 freshmen coming in that we're really excited about. Quick rundown of those guys: Jack Bolcha from Thomasville, Georgia, who recently over in Brunswick Country Club, he won the state championship individually, and his team won. Jack shot 28 on the back nine and birdied his last 5 holes to shoot 65.
Wow.
Yeah, Jack played some awesome golf that week. Ian Glanton is joining us as well. He's from Metter, Georgia. Brantley Baker from Leesburg, Georgia, and Hogan Ingram, the reigning state junior champ, is from Rome, Georgia. So we have 4 guys coming in that they're anticipating to step right in and play, and we like their mindset. We feel like the junior golfers are more prepared to play right away, just a little bit more every single year, and these guys are definitely hungry and ready to play. So we're losing some great players who've been some unbelievable representatives and ambassadors for Georgia Southern, and we're going to miss them. But every year, kind of, this turnover happens, and it's sad but exciting at the same time. So we're ready to see what these freshmen can do.
So, Coach, do you recruit all year long? I mean, I know you want good golfers, but as you talked about, there's some other things that you want too. You want that drive to win, but what's your schedule like throughout the year? I mean, how much do you travel around, and as far as the state of Georgia or around the surrounding states, as far as recruiting throughout the year?
Good question. So that one's, I'll answer in a typical year, not a COVID year, because we're still under recruiting restrictions right now as far as in-person evaluating and on-campus visits and all that. All that changes June 1st. But for the last 14, 15 months, we haven't been able to do anything in person. But in a typical non-COVID year, we travel around a good bit in the summer and the winter. We're probably unique in that we don't recruit traveling wise year round. I like putting a lot of focus into the guys in this building in the program, and making sure they're taken care of during the fall season, spring season, and not leaving them too often. And then when they go home and we're out of school, that's when we have an opportunity to go recruit in person. So we travel a lot in the summer. We travel a lot in November, December, a little bit in January, and then we try and focus on the team in the spring and the fall.
I mean, that just sounds like a great game plan. Obviously, it's working for you, and you've been able to bring in some great players, and winning the Sun Belt Conference, going to the NCAA regionals. All that has got to help in your recruiting.
Oh, we hope so. I mean, we're just trying to do the little things well, and whatever adds up in the end, is a bonus. But that's definitely some things that the team and the program and the university are hopefully proud of, going to the NCAA National Championship in 2019, playing as well as they did at regionals to make it that year, and winning conference this year, and having another opportunity to get the nationals back to back would be an incredible experience for these guys. So hopefully it shows, the recruits that we are mid-major, but we're a proud, strong mid-major. I mean, like Coach Russell, Ert Russell used to say, we're one of the runts. The runts just want it more. And I feel like that's kind of our DNA here at Georgia Southern Golf. We may not have the flashy stuff other programs do. And, their football teams play in 75,000 capacity stadiums. But ours is the prettiest little stadium in America. I get that there's some limitations on that stuff, but that doesn't mean we can't be great. And that doesn't mean we can't compete against other teams nationally that may have those things. And hopefully we're showing recruits that we can do that. But and that's a byproduct of us doing the little things right. But I want these guys to have great experiences. So less about showing the recruits what we can do, and more about showing these kids what they're capable of and pushing themselves. And I think they're finding out that when they push themselves, greatness is ahead.
Well, you've obviously achieved a lot of greatness. Coach, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with Carter Collins, Coach of the Year from Georgia Southern, who are headed to the NCAA Regionals right after this on the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
Hi, this is Zach Johnson from the PGA Tour, and you're listening to the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
And welcome back. We are live on the phone with Coach Collins from Georgia Southern. Coach, one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, how do you recommend the guys handle stress during their round? I mean, they're not going to have perfect, game the whole way through. I know they've got their own game plan in their head, but, you're going to have some bad shots, some bad, holes. So how do you recommend that they handle that during a round?
That's a great question. And that's definitely one of the strongest battles that we face year round. Because golf is unique, right? I mean, if you're doing great, there's pressure to continue to do great.
Yeah.
If you're 4 under through 5, there's the pressure of now you're having a great round. Can you keep it up?
Right.
If you're 4 over through 5, there's the pressure of how do I get this back to even or whatever your goal was for that day.
Yeah.
So no matter how you're playing that day, there's always going to be pressure. So we work with sports psychologists here on campus, and they do a great job of getting the guys focused on the cliche stuff, but it works. It's one shot at a time, small goals, splitting your round up into, 3-hole rounds. So you take the big picture out of it, focus on the little things, focus on the next shot you have. And we do that stuff a lot. Just this past tournament, one of our freshmen, Luke Dasher, who played incredible. He finished runner-up at the conference championship, including a 70 the final round, which was so good. The scoring average that day was 79.18, and he shot 70. So
wow,
Luke played some great golf. So one of the goals that he had to handle some of that was he kept splitting the round up into small chunks. So, if he had a tough stretch coming up, he wanted to play the next 3 holes at even par, and he wouldn't worry about anything before or after those 3 holes. And once he accomplished that goal, he would go, okay, we've got a little bit easier stretch coming up. Let's play the next 3 at 1 under.
Wow.
So I think that stuff really helps because it helps take your mind off your total score and the finish line and starts putting your focus on the little things of just doing your best on each individual shot.
Yeah. And that is just, advice that we all could use because we as amateurs, not playing, college golf, go into it with expectations. I want to shoot between this and this. And if you triple bogey 1 hole out of your first 3, where's your expectations? They're totally gone at that point.
You're right. And I give a lot of credit to that system and focus on small things from a friend of mine, Blake Adams, PGA Tour stud. And he was a volunteer assistant coach for us a few years ago when he first got off tour and had some injuries he was dealing with. He helped us out. And that was one of the things he said, you need to treat an 18-hole round like 6 3-hole rounds.
Right.
And to bust it up into small sections. And that's something we've kept with us since he helped us a few years ago. So Blake, incredible golfer, and getting the peek into the mindset of those elite golfers is not something we get to do very often. So we definitely are soaking up what Blake has taught us through the years.
Yeah, and those are kind of the little things that you would only get from somebody with experience who's gone through it. And speaking of going through it, playing college golf, a lot of everything is planned for you. You know where you're going, you know where your match is, you know whether or not you're playing, how you're going to get there. But then you graduate, like you've got some of your guys. And I saw Scott Wolfus the other day, one of Georgia Southern grads who's practicing like crazy on putting and everything. And it's a big difference to go from college to pro and start playing the mini tours. And it's real easy to get down and start questioning your talents.
Yes, sir. Scott is, one of the best golfers to ever set foot at Georgia Southern. And he's just an incredible person.
Got you there. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Scott's awesome. His whole family's great. But so you're right. It's mini tour golf, and Scott's played on the PGA Tour Canada and PGA Tour Latin America, and he's played well at Q School. But it's set up to beat you up.
Yeah.
You look at most sports, your winning percentage in basketball and baseball and football is always well above 500. You're hoping to get to that 600, 700 mark in winning percentage. But in golf, it's the opposite. You're going to lose 90 plus, 95 plus % of the time if you're lucky. So you're dealing with adversity, you're
Right.
dealing with losses all the time. Even when you play well, if you don't win, you still leave with, maybe a little less confidence than you had the week before. So mini tour grind and professional golfers have my utmost respect in what they go through.
Yeah.
And it's hard because, like I said, around every corner, you keep waiting for the good break to happen. And
Yep.
some guys are lucky enough to get it. Some guys aren't. And Scott has played awesome. He's had a great professional career so far. And there's no doubt in my mind that he'll be on TV in the near future. He's playing some of his best golf right now, but it is a total grind. And like I said, those guys have my utmost respect and appreciation for what they go through.
Well, we hope Scott does that as well, and you have our utmost respect. Coach, thanks for being with us again. Congratulations and good luck at the NCAAs.
Thank you guys for the opportunity to talk about these boys in Georgia Southern. Go Eagles.
You got it. All right. Coach Collins from Georgia Southern, Coach of the Year. They won the Sun Belt Championship going on to the NCAA Regionals. We want to thank Amy McDonald of Altwell CBD Products. Check them out. And John Farrell, Director of Sports at Sea Pines Resort. And thank you for being with us on the Back Nine Boys Golf Show on ESPN Coastal.